Prostate cancer is treacherous, silent, and often ignored. The great trap of this disease is that it advances without warning, without obvious signs, without giving you a chance to realize the danger in time. Many men only find out when it is too late, when treatment options become limited and recovery an arduous battle. Did you know that in the early stages, this cancer hardly has symptoms? This is exactly why so many people are taken by surprise when the disease has already spread and compromised what could once be treated more simply. But it doesn't have to be so. The right information at the right time can save lives. Before we go straight to the point, write in the comments from where you are watching this video. Your participation is important. Oh, and already leaves the like and subscribes to the channel, because here we bring information that makes a difference in your health and the people you love. Now pay attention. Today, we will reveal the first signs and symptoms of prostate cancer that cannot be ignored. Knowing how to identify these warnings may be the difference between an early diagnosis and an irreversible situation. So stay with me until the end, because this information can save your life. Prostate cancer is one of the most common types among men, especially from the age of 50. And the worst? Most only find out when the disease has already spread. But do you know exactly what the prostate is and what is its function? It is a small gland that is just below the bladder and in front of the rectum. Its main mission is to produce seminal fluid, essential for sperm nutrition. The problem arises when the cells of this gland begin to multiply uncontrollably, forming a tumor that at first grows quietly, but when it expands, it can press the urethra, affect nearby organs, and at that moment the first signs begin to appear. The great danger lies in the fact that in most cases, men only realize that there is something wrong when cancer has already reached an advanced stage. This makes treatment more complicated and the chances of recovery smaller. But calm down, because now you will know exactly what symptoms need to be observed carefully. After all, detecting this disease early can make all the difference. Prostate cancer does not appear out of nowhere. There are specific factors that increase the risk. Knowing them can help not only in prevention, but also in early detection. The first risk factor is age. From the age of 50, the risk grows considerably and becomes even greater after 65. This is why regular examinations are fundamental at this stage of life. Another important factor is family history. If your father, grandfather, or brother have already had prostate cancer, their chances bend or even triple. This means that genetics plays a crucial role. The ethnicity also influences. African descent men have a higher risk, and often the disease manifests itself more aggressively. In addition, food has a direct impact. Excessive consumption of red meat, ultra-processed foods, and saturated fats may increase the risk of the disease. On the other hand, a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, and antioxidants, such as the lycopene present in the tomato, can help protect the health from the prostate. Obesity is another worrying factor. Overweight not only increases the risk of more aggressive cancer, but also makes it difficult to detect. In addition, obesity can compromise the effectiveness of some treatments, making the fight against the disease even more difficult. Exposure to chemicals can also be an aggravating factor. Professionals who deal with pesticides and industrial chemicals are at greater risk, as these compounds can cause cellular mutations. Another point that many people ignore is the hormonal imbalance. High levels of testosterone for long periods can stimulate prostate cell growth, including cancer. This is why hormonal control is considered an important factor in treating the disease. Sedentary lifestyle also enters this list. Lack of physical activity is directly linked to obesity, chronic inflammation, and a reduction of immunity, conditions that may favor the development of prostate cancer. And we can't forget the cigarette and alcohol. Smoking contains substances that cause cellular mutations and increase the risk of various types of cancer, including prostate. Excessive alcohol consumption can trigger chronic inflammation in the body, one of the factors linked to the development of malignant tumors. But then, how to reduce these risks? Although it is not possible to control age or genetics, there are measures that may significantly decrease the chances of developing the disease. Maintain a healthy weight, follow a balanced diet, exercise regularly. Avoiding smoking and excessive alcohol consumption are essential habits. But most important of all, regular medical consultations. Men from the age of 50 or younger, if they have a family history, need to perform periodic tests. Now we come to one of the most important moments of this video. You will know the main symptoms of prostate cancer that need to be recognized as soon as possible. The sooner they are identified, the greater the chances of successful treatment. The first symptom is the difficulty in urinating. Have you tried to open a tap and instead of a continuous flow of water, just drops? This is the feeling that many men report. As the tumor grows, it can press the urethra, making the urinary flow weak, intermittent, or forcing the person to make an effort to urinate. If you realize that you are having difficulty completely emptying the bladder or that the urinary jet is weak and irregular, do not ignore this symptom. The second warning is the frequent need to urinate, especially at night. Do you get up several times to go to the bathroom? If so, it is a sign that deserves attention. This phenomenon, known as nicturia, happens when the increased prostate compresses the bladder, reducing its storage capacity and increasing the desire to urinate. If this is repeated every night, it is not normal. It is an indication that something can be wrong. The third symptom is the feeling that the bladder never completely empties. Has it happened that you urinate and soon after feeling that there is still something stuck? This sensation may indicate obstruction in the urinary flow, something that may be associated with abnormal growth of the prostate. Whether by a tumor or benign prostatic hyperplasia, this difficulty should be taken seriously. Now, one of the most worrying signs, presence of blood in the urine or semen. This symptom may indicate serious prostate problems, and although it does not always mean cancer, it should never be ignored. In most cases, this happens at more advanced stages of the disease, which makes a medical evaluation even more urgent. If you believe in the power of prevention and want to protect your health, declare in the comments, "I have hope." Sharing this information can save lives. Leave your comment and keep following as we still have fundamental information to tell you. If you have gotten here, you already understood the gravity of what we are talking about. But now comes the most critical part. If you ignore these signs, it may be too late. The disease advances without mercy, and when symptoms become impossible to ignore, it may be that the treatment no longer has the same effectiveness. So pay attention, because now let's talk about even more dangerous signals that indicate that something can be wrong with your prostate. In addition to the difficulty of urinating and increased frequency at night, there is another symptom that may go unnoticed, but it is extremely dangerous: pain when urinating. At first, it may seem just a nuisance, something fleeting, but if this discomfort persists, it is a warning. Pain may be an indication that the prostate is inflamed or that there is abnormal growth compressing the urethra. Have you ever felt burning when urinating and thought it was a urinary tract infection? Careful, it can be a much more serious signal than you think. Another symptom that needs to be taken seriously is persistent pain in the lower back, hips, or thighs. Few people know, but when prostate cancer advances, one of the first places where it spreads is the bones. This means that pain you feel may not just be tired or a result of an intense day. It may be a silent warning that the disease is already spreading. And here comes the worst. Different from normal muscle aches, this pain does not improve with rest. On the contrary, it becomes increasingly intense and can even disrupt your daily activities. If you have constant pain that seems to have no reason, don't ignore it. The body always gives signs when something is wrong. Have you noticed that you have felt more tired lately than usual? That extreme tiredness, which doesn't even pass after a good night's sleep. This is another warning. When the body is fighting cancer, it spends a lot of energy, and this can lead to constant fatigue, a sense of exhaustion that simply does not improve, not to mention the sudden weight loss. If you are losing weight without explanation, without changing your diet or routine, turn the red light. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that you have lost weight without having any effort. At first it may seem positive, but when this loss happens for no apparent reason, it may be a sign that something much more serious is happening inside your body. Advanced prostate cancer can make the body begin to consume its own energy reserves. Result, I walk in a rapid and dangerous weight loss. And along with this weight loss comes weakness, lack of disposition, and the feeling that something is wrong, even if you can't explain exactly what. If you have noticed any of these signs, don't wait. Every minute that passes, the disease may be advancing without you realizing it. The difference between life and death may be in your decision to act now. This is not alarmism, but reality. Prostate cancer silently kills those who choose to ignore their first signs. Now, imagine knowing it could have avoided it all, but it left it later. What would you do if you had a chance to go back in time and prevent this situation? But here is the truth. There is still time. Early diagnosis can save lives. Men who identify the disease early on have up to 90% chance of effective treatment. But this decision is in your hands. If you have been around 50 or have a family history of the disease, you need to act. Regular tests are the only way to ensure that your health is not at risk. PSA, a specific blood test to evaluate the prostate, and rectal touch are the main methods for detecting the disease at its early stage. Many men avoid these tests out of fear or shame, but here is the question you need to do yourself. What is most important, a few minutes of discomfort or a lifetime of regret? Now beware, don't wait. Send to 3 WhatsApp contacts and write Amen. Today, God will open the right doors for you. If you love your family, if you still want to live many years with the people you love, if you want to see your grandchildren grow up and keep taking advantage of life, then you can't ignore this information. Taking care of your health is not an act of weakness, but of courage. How many men do you know that they stopped taking care of themselves and only realized too late? How many stories have you heard from parents, siblings, or friends who faced this disease because they neglected your health? If you still think you don't have to worry, ask yourself this question. When was the last time you had a preventive exam? If you can't remember, then it's because it's past time. And if you have a husband, father, brother, or friend who never talks about this, share this video with him. You may be saving a life without even realizing it. And remember, prostate cancer does not choose age, profession, or social class. It can reach anyone. The only difference between those who overcome the disease and those who cannot overcome it is the decision to act in time. Do you want to be in the group that wins this battle or in the group that regrets not doing something before? The choice is in your hands. Now write in the comments, I trust God. If it is believed that health and life are precious present, let's spread this message of alert and awareness together. If you are reading this now, it means you already understand how serious this subject is. But make no mistake thinking you already know enough. What comes next can change everything. And I am not exaggerating. If you think you can expect some more to act, you are making a mistake that can cost your life or the life of someone you love. So get ready, because now we are going to talk about the biggest mistakes that lead thousands of men to lose this battle even before they realized they were fighting. The first mistake? Think this cannot happen to you. Prostate cancer gives no preference. He does not choose for his lifestyle, his financial level, or his physical strength. He simply attacks without warning. And what is worse, the vast majority of men only realize when it's too late. Are you sure you are safe? Or can this exactly silent is happening inside your body without you having the slightest idea? The second fatal error is to ignore small signs. Have you heard of the strong man who never complains about anything? So it is. This strong man can also end up being the next victim because he thought a trip to the doctor was not important. The body always gives signs when something is not right. Always. But how many men ignore because they think it's nothing or because it will pass? What happens when they finally realize? Often the diagnosis comes too late, when the disease has already spread and treatments no longer guarantee a happy ending. And the third mistake, perhaps the most common, is the fear of taking exams. Yes, the rectal touch exam is still a taboo for many men. But I need to ask you a direct question. What are you more afraid of? Of an exam that lasts a few seconds, or spending years facing painful, uncertain, and exhausting treatment? Do you prefer a few minutes of discomfort or a sentence of suffering for you and your family? This is the truth that many avoid facing, but reality does not expect. Now I'll tell you that few speak. Symptoms can be different for each person. Some people feel pain, some not. Some realize changes when urinating. Others feel weakness and tiredness without explanation. And that makes everything even more dangerous. You may be living with a symptom right now without realizing it is a much more serious warning. And here comes the frightening point. In many cases, when the first symptoms appear, it means that cancer is already spreading. Yes, the time you lost thinking that it was nothing may have been exactly the time the disease needed to strengthen itself. That hurts to hear, I know, but it is better to face this reality now while there is still time to act. Now, a detail that almost no one tells you. Prostate cancer can be silent, but it can also be treacherous. In some cases, it grows slowly and takes years to cause serious problems. But in others, he advances quickly, and when least expected, he has already spread to the bones, liver, and even to the brain. This is the most aggressive type, and it gives no chance. Are you willing to take this risk? And before you think, but I feel good, I have no symptoms, know that the absence of symptoms doesn't mean the absence of the disease. Many men find out when there is nothing more to be done. The only way to ensure that you are safe is through regular exams. And you know what the big problem is? Most only do this when you already feel something wrong. But when symptoms appear, the disease is often already at an advanced stage. So I ask you, how much is your life worth? How much is the time you still have next to your family? Is it worth risking? Or do you prefer to be sure you are in control of your health? What's more, if you have a man in your life you love, be your father, husband, brother, or friend, you need to share this information with him. Because the biggest mistake is not just ignoring the signs, but also not alerting those who may be at the same risk. Now beware, don't wait. Send to 3 WhatsApp contacts and write, Amen. Today God will open the right doors for you. But I know what you might be thinking now. What can I do to avoid this? The good news is that there are measures that can reduce the risk of this disease, but you need to act now. First thing, stop thinking that this can't happen to you. The second, start changing your habits today. Food is one of the most important factors. Did you know that too much red meat and ultra-processed foods can increase the chances of developing prostate cancer, and that the consumption of vegetables rich in antioxidants can help protect your cells? Tomato, for example, contains lycopene, a powerful ally in preventing this disease. But it is not enough just to include healthy foods. You need to avoid those who increase inflammation in your body. Excessive sugar, fried foods, and processed foods are true fuels for cancer cells. Another crucial point, physical inactivity. Lack of physical activity is directly linked to various health problems, including prostate cancer. The human body was made to move. The more you remain active, the stronger your immune system is and the lower the chance of a serious illness developing. What's more, stress can be a silent risk factor. Yes, the emotional directly affects your health. Chronic stress can deregulate hormones and weaken your body, making it more vulnerable to various diseases, including cancer. Do you be careful of your mental health? Have you taken time to relax, to relieve the tensions of everyday life? Or has your life been a constant whirlwind without pauses to take care of yourself? And now, the most important question, will you ignore it all and continue as if nothing is happening? Or are you going to take action and change your story before it's late? Declare in the comments, I trust God, if life is believed to be a valuable gift and deserves to be cared for. Don't let this information die here. If you love your life and care about those around you, share this message, because sometimes a simple warning can save a life, and the next may be yours or someone you love. The decision is in your hands. What are you going to do now? Now stop a moment and think. How many men do you know that have been caught by surprise for a health problem? How many discovered a serious illness only when there was no more to do? And now imagine this happening to you or someone you love. What would you do if you knew it is still time to avoid the worst, but you need to act now? The truth is that prostate cancer does not warn. He gives no obvious signs until he has already advanced, and that's why so many lives are lost all the years. You may be carrying this disease right now and do not know. You may be postponing an exam that may be the only chance to save your life. But how long? How many warnings do you need before you realize that you are playing with luck? Have you ever wondered what your life would be like if you received a diagnosis too late? The impact this would have on your family, on your plans, on your dreams. Imagine looking into the eyes of those you love and realize that you could have done something before, but you chose to ignore the signs. This is the reality of thousands of men who now live a battle that could have been avoided. And don't think this is an exaggeration. Every day, families are destroyed by this silent disease. Every day, someone receives the worst news of his life. And the most cruel of all this, many of these lives could have been saved if prevention had been taken seriously. Are you willing to take this risk? Now, you may be thinking, but I feel good, I don't feel wrong, and that is exactly the danger. Prostate cancer does not need symptoms to be developing inside your body. He may be growing in silence without giving any sign until one day is too late. And do you know what is even worse? Many men only discover the disease when they begin to feel bone pain, when cancer has already spread to other parts of the body. Have you heard of someone who started to feel back pain, hips or legs, and when you went to the doctor, you found it already an advanced stage of cancer? This is one of the most cruel realities of this disease, and that's exactly why preventive examinations are essential. It's no use waiting for the body to give signs. When he gives, it may be too late. PSA, a blood test that detects changes in the prostate, and rectal touch are the only safe ways to detect the disease at the beginning. And if you are over 50 or have a family history of the disease, you need to do these exams annually. Now think to me, do you prefer to face a few minutes of discomfort or a lifetime of regret? Do you prefer to take an exam today or spend months, perhaps years, fighting a disease that could have been avoided? The choice is yours. And here is another truth. Many men only decide to take care of themselves when it's too late. They postpone, and when they finally go to the doctor, they receive a diagnosis that changes their lives forever. Do you want to be one more in this statistic? Or do you want to act now and ensure a quiet future for you and your family? And if you still think this can't happen to you, pay attention. Each year, thousands of healthy men discover this disease without ever making sense before. Each year, men like you, who believed they were well, get devastating news because they thought they were safe. But they were wrong. Now look around you. Think about the people who love you, who depend on you. Do you want to see them suffering? Do you want them to spend sleepless nights, afraid of what can happen to you? Because that's what happens when the disease arrives. It's not just you who suffer. Your family suffers together. And the worst is knowing that all this could have been avoided. Don't wait. Send to 3 WhatsApp contacts and write, Amen. Today, God will open the right doors for you. If you love your life, if you still have dreams, if you still want to live many years with the people you love, you need to make that decision now. Prostate cancer does not expect. It advances without you noticing. It destroys without you having time to react. And the only way to avoid this is acting now. Now, I want you to do something. If you haven't done exams yet, make an appointment now. No tomorrow, not next week. Now. Because every day you advance, this decision is a day that you may be allowing this disease to advance within your body. And if you know someone who never talks about this, who never did tests, share this video with it. You may be saving a life. You may be preventing someone you love from going through a painful fight. Now state in the comments, I trust God if you believe your health is a gift and deserves to be cared for. Time is passing. The choice is in your hands. What are you going to do now? Now imagine waking up one day and realizing that something is wrong. You try to ignore. Tell yourself that it is just a passing pain, a discomfort that will soon disappear. But the days pass, and that strange feeling is not leaving. On the contrary, it seems to intensify. You start to feel inexplicable tiredness, something that does not improve with rest. Your energy is no longer the same. Small tasks that were once simple now seem like gigantic effort. And then, one day, you decide to go to the doctor, do exams, wait for the results. And when you finally get the answer, your world collapses. Prostate cancer advanced. How is that happening? You didn't feel anything before. You always found yourself strong, healthy. But now, the doctor's words echo in his head like a sentence. The disease has already spread. The treatment will not be easy. The coming months or years will be a daily struggle. You will see your family suffer by your side, wondering if you could have done something different. And the worst part? You could. A simple preventive examination could have changed everything. But now, you are in this battle. You will have to deal with the side effects of treatment. Chemotherapy, radiotherapy, surgeries. Your body will never be the same. You will lose weight, your strength will decrease, your reflection in the mirror will start to scare you. You will look at the people around you and see worry in their eyes. And the question that won't come out of your mind will always be the same. Why don't I act before? Now I ask you, are you willing to take this risk? Do you want to live this reality? Or do you rather make the right decision now and prevent yourself before it's too late? The truth is that you have 2 paths before you right now. The first is to ignore this message. Follow your life as if nothing is happening. Keep postponing this exam, believing that you are strong enough for it not to reach you. But this path can lead you straight to a future of suffering, repentance, and pain. The second way is to act now. It is understanding that your health cannot expect, that your life is worth more than a few minutes of discomfort. It is marking an exam, talking to a doctor, finding out, taking the necessary measures to ensure that you will be here, healthy, to live everything forward. And make no mistake thinking that this disease only hits older men. Age may be a risk factor, but prostate cancer has hit younger men. Lifestyle, food, physical inactivity, stress, all contributes to the development of this disease. Do you work too much and rest little? Do you eat many processed foods, drink little water, exercise less than it should? Do you feel tired constantly, but ignore why you think it's part of life? All of this are signs of alert. The body warns when something is wrong, but you need to be willing to listen. Now think, What would your life be like if you knew for sure that you are healthy? If you could sleep quietly without fear of what may be happening inside your body? If you knew you are doing everything you can to protect yourself and to be present for many years with the people you love? This is possible, but only if you act now. Don't wait. Send to 3 WhatsApp contacts and write Amen. Today, God will open the right doors for you. If you still have doubts, if you still think you can wait a little longer, I want to tell you something you may not know. Men who discover prostate cancer in the early stage have up to 90% chance of healing. But when the diagnosis is late, these chances fall dramatically. And in the most advanced cases, when the disease has already spread to other organs, treatment is often no longer able to save the patient's life, just prolonging it for a few years. And this is the point that needs to be clear. If you wait for the symptoms, it may be too late. Prostate cancer does not start with pain. It does not start with obvious signs. It starts in silence, spreads without you noticing, and when it is finally beginning to manifest, it may be late. Now imagine your family receiving this news. Imagine your wife, your children, your grandchildren knowing that you are sick. Imagine their desperation, uncertainty, the fear of losing you. Imagine the nights of anguish, the tears, the prayers asking for a miracle. But you can prevent this from happening. You can avoid all this suffering. You can make a decision now that you can save your life. You can take care of yourself. You can prevent yourself. You may be the man who takes the reins of your destiny and does not allow a silent disease to destroy your life. But this decision needs to be now. Time does not expect. The cancer does not expect. So I ask you once more, what are you going to do now? Declare in the comments, I trust God. If you believe your health is a gift and deserves to be cared for, now close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. Feel your heart beating. This is the sign that you still have time, that you can still act, that there is still hope. But the choice is in your hands. What do you decide? Now that you have come this far, you know that the most important decision of your life needs to be made now. You can keep ignoring the signs, pretending that nothing is happening, postponing something that can save your life, or you can choose to act. You can make an appointment, you can do the preventive exams, you can ensure that you will be here by many the years alongside the people you love. And this is the truth. No one can make that decision for you. Your health is in your hands. Your life depends on your attitude. What you choose now will determine your future. Think of those who care about you. Think of those who depend on your presence, your affection, your strength. Do you want them to go through the suffering of seeing you fighting a disease that could have been avoided? Do you want them to regret not having insisted anymore so that you take care of your health? The pain of regret is much greater than the pain of prevention. Don't expect it to be too late. Now look inside and make a choice. Do you prefer to continue living in fear of the unknown, or want to make sure you are doing everything you can to protect your life? And remember, you are not alone. Thousands of men have already made this decision and today live quiet because they knew how to act at the right time. You can also be part of this group. You may be the man who won this battle even before it began. So do something for you. Make your appointment, do the exams. He cares for himself. And more than that, share this message with those you love. How many men around you may need this warning? How many may be postponing this decision without realizing that time is against them? Don't keep this information just for you. Save lives. If you believe that God has a plan for you and that your health is a gift, write in the comments, I trust God, and now get up. Take the phone, schedule your appointment. Make this decision for you and those who love you. Time does not expect. The cancer does not expect, but you can act now.